All right. Shalom, shalom. First off, give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakarkadash. Give the honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, all the men and women who follow. This is the brother Karatazah from the GMS Nebraska camp, coming back at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. This one being entitled 911 is a joke in your town. All right, coming to a hood near you. All right, so this is inspired by the Apostle Tahar. He did a video the other day, and he had he he goes on tangents, boy, and he'll give you a zinger here and there. And he said 911 is a joke, right? So it's stemming from this old Public Enemy song from 1990. 911 is a joke. All right, 911 is a joke in your town. Okay, um, from the album "Fear of a Black Planet." All right, which we're not so-called black people. We're Israelites. But Jake is going to rule this planet. All right, but before we rule the planet, all right, there's going to be chaos, and that help, all right, 911, all right, is going to be obsolete, all right. So let's see. 911 is intended as a nationwide telephone number that gives the public fast and easy access to public safety. To a public safety answering point, right? So it's an assistance, all right. Let me see. I mean, I know everybody knows what 911 is, but um, it's just the emergency code, right? For help when you need help, you dial 911. But what happens when 911 doesn't answer? What happens when 911 isn't available for you? All right. What happens when the grid goes off and you're left to the elements? All right, because the scripture says, let's not get that one. Let's start with Second Ezra chapter 15, and we'll start at verse 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." All right, that woe meaning destruction, because destruction is coming to Babylon. All right, it says, "For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands." You're gonna have, these outbreaks, man. When the shit hits the fan, there's going to be outbreaks of one people fighting against another. There's a lot of racial tensions in America. There's a lot of history of racism in America that's propagating these tensions. All right, it's not just unjust or undue tension. The Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans have been downtrodden, last hired, first fired, beaten to the ground, made to serve slavery, been Willie lynched and uh, Jim Crow. All right, we didn't been uh, lynched and we didn't had alligators. Rasaki, we didn't had babies cut out of our stomachs for alligators. They did experiments on us. I was just reading a post on social media about the father of gynecology. Let's pull it up real quick. Yeah, this guy right here, J. Marion Sims, right? He experimented on slaves. You know, he would cut them open, with no anesthesia and perform those surgeries, in women's area down there. And, he did it in the name of, gynecology. This is what we have to. This is what we have been going through since we got here. All right. So yeah, when these racial tensions get to burning, they're gonna burn hot. It says that more people should stand up to fight against another and swords in their hands, which the modern day sword is a gun. But in that day, it could be a gun, it could be a knife, you know, a baseball bat, whatever somebody got or get, to defend themselves, man, and it's going to go down. It says for there should be sedition among men and invading one another. So let's get this definition for sedition. All right. Sedition, it says rebellion. There's going to be rebellions going on, uprisings, revolts, all right, uh, factitious commotion in the state, concerted attempt to overthrow civil authority. 911 is a joke in your town, all right? When there's no civil authority, all right, when the police turn in their badges, they did it in New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina. What happened to the police during okay. Said some police officers abandoned their posts during hurricane. About 45 policemen abandoned their posts and 6 civilian workers. So there's all kind of reports. This is from court where you ask a question and people chime in and they give their personal. They got pictures. Says about 45 policemen abandoned their posts and 6 civilian workers. Sergeant Paul Arcado and Officer Lawrence Celestine both committed suicide because of the stress caused by Hurricane Katrina. These officers had little to no support during the crisis. It was the saddest and most horrific time in Orland's history. The storm hit NOLA August 29th, 2005. Officer Celestine committed suicide September 2nd, 2005, and Sergeant Arcado took his life on September 3rd, 2005. And I remember when Hurricane Katrina happened, man. It was a crazy time, all right. And you had people turning in their badges, all right. I would people from New Orleans, giving stories about the cops turning in their badges. They weren't doing nothing. What could they do? Everybody was worried about themselves. How can the cop save you when he had to save his own family? And that's the spirit that's going to be going around. All right. That's sedition, right? Because 911 is going to be a joke in your town. All right. Coming to a hood near you. All right. It says, for there should be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right? Nobody's gonna care what Biden or it's like what Trump got to say, what your mayor, your city councilman, the governor, the House of Representatives, or any other person, for that matter, because people are going to be um, concerned about themselves. It says a man shall desire to go into a city and should not be able, right? And in this time of trouble, you're gonna have all manner of things going on. You're gonna have these concentration camps. You're gonna have martial law. You're gonna have mass death. All right, the scriptures just properly describe it as a time it never was before. Right? It says that for their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A time of lawlessness. Anything goes. And guess what? When anything goes, you're gonna have a lot of people like women. Women, for example, they're gonna be victims. They're not gonna call them women; they're gonna call them victims. All right, this is Isaiah 32 and 9. It says, Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters, and give ear unto my speech. Right? Because you have women in a society who believe that they good, they golden. Men have built society. They built planes and trains and buildings and skyscrapers and job and air conditioning and all this stuff men have made to give comfort into the world, and women turned their back on men and said, okay, well, now that we're safe, we don't need you anymore. Well, guess what? When 911 is a joke in your town, I guarantee you all them women gonna come back. They gonna be choosing. They're gonna be, especially the men of the Lord. Especially the men of the Lord. Let's get that real quick. Um, this is Isaiah 4 and 1. It says, and in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man. 7 women shall take hold of one man. 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. That's what it's going to be in those days. All right? Because like the scripture said, these women are at ease. All right? They're careless. What is that? The word for that? All right, this is Strong's H982 Bata. It says to trust in, to have confidence, to be confident, to be bold, to cause the trust, to make secure, to feel safe, to be careless. Right? They feel safe. This society has made women to feel safe. Why? Because they can run to the police. They can call the so-called white man. But guess what? When the shit hits the fan, 911 is a joke in your town. All right, coming to a hood near you. All right, this is Isaiah 30 and 1. It says, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Yeah, and this is mainly women. I can't say it's mainly women because you got some hoe ass niggas out there too. All right, but the women in particular, all right, that walk that go down to Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and the trust in the shadow of Egypt. All right, women are dependent on this system for child support, for food stamps, Section 8, all right, government assistance. All right, they want to throw a nigga under the bus and say, oh, he tried to grape me, or he put his hands on me. The man going to jail. The women are in the power seat. They're careless. All right, they have fear. They have comfort. They have security. All right, but when this shit hits the fan, all right, all that comfort, all that security going out the window. Isaiah 32 and 10 says, many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, and the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you, make you bare, gird sackcloth upon your loins. Right. So, all the nice clothes and the jewels and the bonnets, all right, like Isaiah 3 says, that's our women to a T. You know, all that shit is going out the window. All right, you ain't gonna be able to put on that wig. All right, let them Cleo from Set It Off braids breathe. All right, you ain't gonna have all that makeup on your face. Right, you gonna and we gonna pick according to who you truly are. All right, when you ain't took a bath in goddamn 2 months and you fucking stink. You're gonna be humble in that day. You're gonna be humble in that day. So let me see. Kind of clean this up a little so I know where I'm at. Let's get Amos chapter 5 and verse 18. It says, "Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you?" Yeah, so you have a lot of, so-called Christians, so-called church people, hey, some so-called Israelites, they always inquire about the day of the Lord. Oh, we're gonna, what do they call it? Rapture. Yeah, we're gonna get raptured, and we're not gonna have to see the trouble. The Lord's gonna gonna take us away. The rapture ain't in the fucking Bible. There's no fucking rapture. Where is the rapture in the Bible? Get the fuck out of here. This is what 1 Thessalonians 4:15. It says, "For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive shall remain until the coming of the Lord, until the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout and the voice of an archangel, when the trump of the most and with the trump of the Most High, and the dead and Hamashiach shall rise first." Right now, this is speaking about when the Lord comes back. Yeah, the elect is still going to be here, all right, and the dead are going to rise. But this is during the trouble, all right, because this is where we're getting saved from. Okay, it says, "Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord." Right? So yeah, this is us being beamed up into the clouds, all right, preventing us from being burnt from the fucking nuclear fire that's coming. All right, because we're going to be saved at the last minute, as it says, the last trump. All right, at that last moment. All right, come out of her, my people. We're going to gain that salvation at that time. But what do you have to be saved from if the destruction ain't happened? All right, we got to endure to the end. Fucking rapture. Amos 5 and 18 says, "Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light." It ain't going to be nothing nice. All right? Yeah, well, we'll see in that day. We'll see when Jesus come back, when Jesus Christ comes to save us. We're going to see who's right. Yeah, we are going to see who's right when the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai comes back. But before then, you got to make it to see Yahweh Shem Yahushai, because it's going to be a time that never was before. First idea. Bear with me. "As if a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him." So you might be running from martial law, think you good, and see some fucking cannibals, and then you shake the cannibals, and you think you good. You sit down, and little do you know, it's a fucking a mob or a gang in there ready to kill you and your family. Trouble at every corner. That's why you got to get right now. When I say you, I'm talking to me too. First and foremost, we need to be right with the Lord, because his protection, his hedge of protection, is the only thing that's going to deliver us in these times. The only thing that's going to get us up out of here. And we have to be sincere. Yeah, let's get this. This is Matthew 24 and 12, and you can read this whole chapter. But I just want to get this one verse. uh, Matthew 24:12, it says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Yeah, it's going to wax cold. That's why 911 is going to be a joke. Because their job to protect and serve, all right, they're going to be protecting and serving their families. That's what's going to be happening. All right, 911 is going to become a joke. There ain't nobody coming. There is no emergency assistance. You're not going to be able to just go to the hospital. You're not going to be able to just go into Walmart and get a loaf of bread. Stop at the gas station and gas up. All right, resources are going to be scarce. People will starve to death. People will die of thirst. People will die violent, horrible deaths. All right. And guess what? It ain't gonna be no 911. It's gonna be 144. Cause you better call on your how about Shim Yao Shai. We'll get this last precept and end it on this. This is Isaiah 13:8. It says, and there shall be a socket. Yeah, I started at verse 12. It says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man of the golden wedge of Ophir. All right, so this is a man of the Lord, a man who is diligently seeking the true power. All right, right now in these times, he's gonna make that man, all right, more precious than fine gold. It says, therefore will I shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place, in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, in the day of his in the day of his fierce anger. Yeah, because when the Lord decides that it's time and he turns on that green light, it's go. It's go. And all hell is gonna break loose. And if you ain't on his good side, then you're on his bad side. And you don't want to be on the Most High's bad side. It says, and it shall be as the chased roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. You know, like when you see a deer, an antelope, a zebra, a gazelle, and you see them running from a predator, a cheetah, a lion, a leopard. You know, they don't just run straight. You know, they zigzag, they curl, they try to evade. It looks kind of wonky, almost very random. But that's similar to how people are going to be in that day. They're going to be running around like what do they say, like a snake with his head cut off, a chicken with its head cut off. You know, it represents the confusion. People aren't going to know why it's going on because people are oblivious, or maybe they do know why it's going on, but they're not going to understand why it's happening to them. And this is America. We're the greatest country ever. How can it can never happen to us? It's gonna come at a surprise and catch them with their pants caught down. Let's get that scripture real quick. Um, First Thessalonians 5:1, it says, but the time and seasons, brethren, I have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. Right? So people are going to be surprised when the Lord comes as a thief in the night. So in order for him to come, all right, it's gonna be some tough times, or some rough times. All right, but and only the true men of the Lord, all right, and their circle, I say their circle is gonna make it out of here. because you're gonna have men who believe, all right, who the Lord is working with, who aren't doing this truth, all right, who aren't putting up the daily lessons, who aren't on the highways, but they maybe watch the videos and they're applying the the truth in their daily lives. You know, friends of the prophets. The Lord said that if you give a prophet drink in the name of a prophet, you're going to receive a prophet's reward. So you're going to have men who aren't out here preaching and teaching, who are going to be uh, beacons as well in that time. You're going to have women, the women who believe, the children of the prophets, the children of, they're going to be women that we take in those days. They're going to be saved in childbearing. So that's the confusion that's going to be going on. It's going to be a wild time. It says, they shall every man turn to his own people, and everyone shall flee into his own land. You're going to have a lot of people skedaddling out of Babylon. Or you have all these Arabs. They come over here. They build up businesses. The Chinese come over here and build businesses. Everybody come over here and build businesses, but Jake's still at the bottom. But guess what? A lot of them people are going to pack up and go home. All right. It's going to be, like I said before, it's going to be a lot of racial tensions going on. All right. Everybody's going to be to their own people. All right. The people who you can trust. Because, at the end of the day, this rainbow coalition bullshit society that we live in right now ain't going to fly. When the shit hits the fan and people start grouping up, you go with people who you feel like you can trust, and people ain't gonna trust. People don't trust. The so-called white man. Maybe they got a friend named Jimmy who down the ride. But the majority of them is gonna pick each other, and the scripture says that anyone that is found joined unto them is gonna be thrust through. So if you got a party of Jake coming through, and you got another party of Edomites, and is one ambiguous surfer dude who's a Jake, and he's rolling with them, he gonna get that same treatment. Verse 15 it says, "Everyone, I jumped the gun. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces, before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished." Man, it's gonna be a terrible time. That's what the Lord told in Matthew 24. He told Jake to get to the mountains, get out of the city. Speaking of, when the destruction happened to the temple in 70 AD. All right, but it's twofold, and you can apply it to these times. We just read, in Second Ezra, about what the city is going to be look like. The city shall be troubled, and houses shall be destroyed, and men should be afraid. All right, so 911 is going to be a joke in your town, coming to a hood near you. So stay prayed up. Keep keeping this truth. Keep doing what you're doing. Go harder. All right. Level up. All right. And, let's get out this motherfucker, man. So, Lord's word is edifying. And, we give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakar Give double honors to the apostles, the elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, of the men and women who follow. Shalom.